very good afternoon to you all. You are watching Mac TV live at 1, and I am Fiona Barrow.
And my name is Adamu Bale.
And these are the headlines. Reports on sexual harassment at Makerere University.
End of semester exams kick off at Makerere University.
Empowering the girl child through ICTs.
And the plight of a street child in Kampala.
Battling with sickle cell anemia.
We shall also bring you small-scale businesses flourishing in Makerere University.
Fighting unemployment through enterprise.
And finally, Makerere University invests in its new indoor stadium. Thank you for tuning in on Mac TV. The continued outcry on sexual harassment at Makerere University has today compelled the Sexual Harassment Committee to call for a meeting in a conference which was held at the Makerere University main hall.
And the College of Humanities and Social Sciences has been pinned as the most affected. Basing on the sexual harassment stories for marks in the university, Makerere University, the largest and premier public university in Uganda, held a conference in the main hall on the 18th of May 2018 to have a sexual harassment-free university. 2 months ago, the committee held a meeting set up by the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, but it did not meet the students' needs. That is why another meeting was held.
In the past, we have all been afraid of speaking about sexual harassment just simply because of the negative image that it will portray. But in her opening remarks, Dr. Atamari pointed out that this is not an issue that is only restricted to Makerere University. And perhaps sometimes I feel that for us to be continuously implicated in this and the other institutions and organizations are not is victimization. Sexual harassment is a global issue. It is not only affecting Makerere University, it is affecting other institutions and organizations. And perhaps for us to be champions, we are not only helping ourselves, not the nation, but the globe. To the media, I thank you very much for the great work that you're doing also. Because I think it is after the investigative piece that was reported by NBS that this issue of sexual harassment came to light. And from then on, we haven't looked back but have continued to see that we combat this issue.
Even after the policies that are already in existence, the board recommended changes that should be made to the current policies, and they include review of the policy against sexual human rights, awareness, raising and training of the victims and non-victims, that is to say, the standardized online training module, further investigation and disposal of cases, administrative policy changes, campus environment, including working and learning environment, offices and halls of residence are some of the policies that were added on the.
It is not only criminal, it's against all kinds of human morals. It's the worst form of abuse of a person's human dignity. Makerere University, being the epitome of learning in this country and in the region, can therefore not tolerate any form of harassment, not least sexual harassment.
Earlier on in the meeting, Professor Sylvia Tamale, Gender, Law and Sexuality Research Coordinator and the Dean of Makerere, mentioned that sexual harassment has been a major case in the university and therefore it needed a lot of concern from the leaders in Makerere. This came about due to lack of awareness among the victims, high number of staff being men, abuse of power, abuse of alcohol and drugs, and therefore violating the dignity and freedom of the people. Fiona Barrow reporting for Mac TV.
2 weeks down the road, students at Makerere University resorted to strike over the new policies incurred on them. Among them were tuition increments, abolishing of evening lectures, feeding programs, sexual harassment, among others.
The most pinching issue was the one pertaining the increment in fees for some particular courses.
A thing that led to police deployment, which fired tear gas on them. James Mubiru, one of the students at Makerere University, expressed his disagreement on the meals programs.
Already the use rate has been we have also another issue, meals, 4,000. Can you take a meal of 4,000 for sure? Where are you going to get that food of 4,000? Either we must be consulted, we have our student leadership, it has reached out the administration is very reluctant. We are here to let our voices know.
However, Papa Were Salim, the Students' Guild president, called for calmity and sanity within the university and among the students because their views were being restored.
I would like also to, in the highest manner possible, condemn the manner in which the police and professionally has been handling the students. True. And we have demanded an apology from them, and we are still waiting for a written document. And I've also requested that they command the officers to leave the university premises as soon as possible so that we can have harmony restored. And I believe they have already done so because I just had tear gas cans exploding. It is unfortunate that on a day that we are deciding that we begin off a new page, they are still provoking the students. But I am hopeful that by evening, sanity will be restored.
Hassan Kasinje, police spokesperson, said he cannot make a statement before investigating on the issue and the reason as to why the students had to strike.
But that's the best way to do, to find out, even if it was true, is it a manufacturing date, is it an expiry date?
It has expired date.
No, I am just seeing it from here. So I have to find out from the technical people. Is it a manufacturing date? Is it an expiry date? You get me?
Yes.
Is it something that was got here, or it is something that was not got here? But for me to make a statement on something that I have not found out, it's not fair.
On an interview with the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe assured the students for the suspension of fees increment and other issues through a filed program.
Policies that are unfair and oppressive to us as the students. So just to read for you verbatim of the letter from the Vice Chancellor, addressed to the Guild President, Makerere University, copy to the Right Honorable Guild Speaker, reference suspension of new fees on selected programs. This is to inform you that following consultations with the chairperson, Makerere University Council, it has been agreed that the new fees on selected programs in the College of Health Sciences, College of Veterinary Medicine and Biosecurity, and College of Humanities and Social Sciences be suspended until consultations are made with the Students' Guild for their input. This is therefore to inform you that the new proposed fees are suspended until these consultations are concluded. So as the Students' Guild leadership, we are looking forward to commencing these consultations with the concerned stakeholders, which is the University Council, so that we have in place a user-friendly policy for the students of the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to add on that, we rose up on 14 issues, but today when we came for the negotiations, the benchmark was that some of these issues can be addressed as short-term issues and others can be addressed as long-term issues. For issues that are going to be addressed as long-term issues, we have instituted a committee as the House to review all these recommendations that have given us this 5-page document so that we come up with a more binding document after consultation with all the relevant stakeholders. And I believe this should be a learning experience in the administration. This university is not run by one person only, it is run by all stakeholders and they need to be consulted on all these issues.
Reporting for MAC TV, I am Claire Sandy.
The Harvard of Africa, Makerere University, is diverting a bigger portion of its budget towards renovating old structures, putting up new structures, and most excitingly, constructing an indoor stadium. More details from Sharon Nakabugo.
Makerere University has for the last 2 years been investing a lot of money in new developments within the university to improve its outlook and to provide more facilities for the students and the university at large. The most recent and outstanding development is one that is between Mitchell Hall and Nkrumah Hall. It is the development of the proposed netball indoor stadium that is meant to host the International World Netball Championships scheduled for September 2018. The proposed stadium is to be multi-purpose, that is, it can be used for karate, table tennis, lawn tennis, basketball, besides the main sport, netball.
Well, my name is Fubia Brian Henry, volunteer to the organizing committee of the World University Netball Championships, scheduled for September 2018. We're looking forward to hosting a number of countries, which are already confirmed, 120 of them, and we're expecting over 5,000 delegates from different countries. It's our pleasure as Makerere University, on behalf of Makerere University, to have gotten this groundbreaking and to start to see the development taking place here for the proposed netball indoor stadium, which is going to be multi-purpose. That is to say, it can accommodate the basketball court within the netball court. Again, you can play lawn tennis, table tennis, inviting many other members to also use the facility. For example, different sports, karate inclusive, basketball, like I've mentioned, we have table tennis, we have lawn tennis. Thus, this is a project that is sending a word to the world that Uganda does exist, and yes, Uganda can do its best to get to the international levels. That is the requirement by FISU, that we have to get this facility up and to its standards to be able to get the international students and the international delegation to be housed here at the site for the World Games of 2018 netball in September. It was through a ballot, or call it not a lottery, but a ballot, that we had to push in a bid. Different countries pushing bids because we had a number of competitors on board. We matched out the best. When it comes to the funding, well, Makerere University is also at hand. Another vote of thanks to the government of Uganda, because this is to Uganda as a nation. Thus, Uganda government also has come in as from the President's office, and they are also having a hand to this project.
Another development that has been very important to the students is the renovation of the putting up of new structures in the chemistry department. According to one chemistry student, Wafula, they face challenges with the old structures. For example, their chemicals would get contaminated by water or wind, and some chemicals would get expired in a very short time.
Sometimes some of the chemicals could get expired very fast. You could prepare a compound, put it in the laboratory, and because of the poor weather condition, you find when it has become contaminated. First of all, our departments looks a bit organized and it looks more modern compared to those times. Secondly, especially when they added this building and they renovated it, most of us are using that lab for our research. Many chemicals have been added, and more programs have come up just because of that.
Other developments that have beautified the outlook of Makerere University by far include the Central Teaching Facility 1, Central Teaching Facility 2, which also includes the auditorium. So far, a great work done, and we are looking forward to a lot more developments. Sharon Nakabgo, Mac TV.
Thank you for staying tuned on Mac TV, and in more news, the increased number of street children has now become a public concern in Kampala.
And it is estimated that at least 3 out of 10 children run from their homes to go on streets for begging. Obare Saddam with the story.
Street child problem has been a world concern over the past decade. Street child problem has been a world concern over the past decade. Poverty, war and HIV/AIDS have caused the increasing number of street children sharply over the past few years. Similarly, in Kampala, Uganda, what you will find along the streets of this beautiful city will make you shed tears. These are street children aged between 5 to 8 years. Their only way to survive in this big city is by them begging along the streets. The heavy traffic along the roads in Kampala is a perfect time for them. Here, they move car to car begging and cleaning the waiting vehicles, hoping that they will be given help. When we try to interact with them, It was a struggle to convince them to talk on camera. They only agreed to speak on condition we gave them money, while a few of them accepted to talk to us but not on cameras. These children say that while on street they face a number of challenges including sexual harassment, disease infection, lack of shelter most especially when it comes to rainy seasons, and being beaten by security organs. But who is answerable for the suffering of these children? To answer this question, we had to move to the Kampala Metropolitan Police, where we interviewed the police spokesperson, and this is what he had to say.
Well, the increased rate of street children has many reasons, economic factors I would say. Then generally responsibility of the city authority, that is cases here. For us police in most cases, we come in the orderliness of these children. We found out that some of them even participate in crime. And that's when we come in to arrest them. But all I can tell you is that as policemen, we are trying to make sure that these people, especially the children, don't engage in such crimes. And if they engage, they are penalized like any other person. As long as we are above the age of 14, we penalize like any other person. But the responsibility, the monitoring, making sure that these people are off the roads is generally the responsibility of KCCA.
African Network for the Prevention Against Child Abuse Neglect report Uganda suggests that a number of street children have raised from 4,000 to 10,000 for the past few years, making it a 70% increase. The report also suggests that at least 3 out of 10 children born in Kampala leave their homes to go on streets for begging. Another report by the KCCA indicates that there are 200 street children in Soroti, 216 in Bale, 97 in Jinja, while 80% of the street children come from Napak and Karamoja.
The future and hope of these innocent children continues to remain uncertain as the public and the concerned parties continue to pay a blind eye. But the question is, who is responsible for the restoration of hope and future of these innocent children? Reporting for MAC TV, my name is Saddam Mubale. And in our health news today, we bring you a girl who is battling with sickle cell anemia, and this is her story.
Sickle cell anemia is a genetic disease that affects hemoglobin, the oxygen transport molecule in the blood.
But when it is damaged, it turns from the circular shape to a crescent moon, to the shape of the crescent moon. It turns and it looks like a farm tool called a sickle. And that's where the word sickle cell comes from.
Valem, a sickle cell patient, aged 21 years, says she was born with it.
Madam, how do you think she got sickle cell?
I can't tell you.
Well, what do you think? How?
I don't know.
It is not sexually transmitted. It is not go through contact. It is not through blood transfusion. But it is from 2 parents who do not have sickle cell. They are not sick, but they are carriers of the sickle cell gene. You have a gene. The lady has a gene. When your sperm comes to create the baby, it comes with the S gene. Her egg comes with the S gene, and the child gets 2 genes of sickle cell. That's the disease.
She still continues to say it is so frustrating, painful, and she hopes she will live a normal life.
Yes, I was diagnosed with sickle cell at birth. My dad got to know that I had the disease at the age of 1. That's when everything, started. That's when reality hit us that yes, there is something called sickle cell, and we have it. Our child has it. Yeah, I grew up normally as a normal, healthy, playful child. It was not so hard. But then the older I get, the more my complications started worsening, and I started becoming more and more sick.
She needs a bone marrow transplant since one of her kidneys is failing.
They told me, Valin, one of your kidneys is failing. One of it has an injury and it's not functioning properly.
A series of events have been organized to solicit and raise money for Valem, and this one in particular is car wash, whereby each car is washed at a ticket of 30,000 Ugandan shillings.
We realized we cannot raise that money in one sitting. So what we are doing is that we are doing a series of events. So this is the first one. It is a car wash. We have called upon people of goodwill to come in and support us they wash their cars. The ticket is about 30,000.
In a speech of one of the invited guests, he says they work on blood-related diseases, screening, and a variety of tests.
We do a number of events and tests. We encourage you that for sickle cell screening, it is free of charge. You never know. Please, don't shy away. Visit the facility at time of your convenience and you get tested.
Reporting for Mac TV, I'm Habib.
If God has blessed you with wealth, please have a kind heart to help those in need. With those remarks, thank you so much, Habib, for that touching story.
Let's take a look at our weather forecast today.
The end of semester examinations at Makerere University have kicked off, making the environment tense as most of the students, especially those in their final years, engage in various discussions in order to excel in their exams. Penina reports.
On Monday, 30th April 2018, Makerere University students began their examinations in their respective colleges and schools as it was indicated on the final copy of the timetable. It's a week now ever since students started doing their final examinations for the academic year 2017-2018 and will finalize on Sunday 28th May 2018 to go for their long holidays. In an interview with some of the students in the main library who have so far done some exams, explain how exams are driving them.
Currently we have done 2. We are remaining with 3 and the research that comes later. The first one was a bit challenging and the second one did not come out as challenging because almost had better knowledge of the second exam compared to the first one. Like, you would miss lunch because you're here discussing and you want to catch up with the number. When you go, your friends will continue and you'll miss out. You don't even get breakfast. Time for breakfast, you report here at 8, you discuss until 1, then you get a lunch for 1 hour, then until you return, you continue until like 5, then you can return to hostel and rest. You even come back in the evening to read alone after the day of discussing. I'm getting ready for labor laws, which I have tomorrow at 4 p.m. and then I start reading for other papers that are coming very soon.
I've stopped like watching movies, stopped like watching soccer.
Despite the fact that these students have done some papers, they haven't given up on discussions and still believe that these discussions will help them pass the remaining papers. Some students are involving themselves in individual reading and making research, claiming that in the remaining papers there is hope for better improvement.
Actually, there are some fair. It means that there is some prosperity in the paper.
In an interview with one of the cleaners in the main library, she tries to explain how the exam period is affecting her.
kera kusawa gameka okusaba ebibuuzo Dr. Samuel Edechu, in charge of security in the main library at the entrance, also explains how the security department is affected by this examination period.
The situation is intense, as many students would want to access the library, especially to catch up with exam timetable, because you find most of them coming in big numbers, unlike in the times when exams are not there. Well, the number of challenges that we do face, first, the adjustment, the pressure forces us to adjust time for opening. The official opening hour is 8 o'clock, but you find us opening before that time.
It's during this period, therefore, that the Makerere University students often make use of the libraries, get involved in the discussion groups, make more research in order to come up with better points and degrees as well. Pena Namwanga, Mark TV.
Women all over the world have been regarded as the weaker sex.
Many organizations have come out to turn the phenomenon around by empowering the women to influence their destiny and be able to take up the strategic positions in places of power.
Farimbo Kenya reports with more details.
There is a long history of women oppression throughout the world. Often regarded as the weaker sex, women, for example, in Saudi Arabia are not allowed some human rights. They are forced to wear certain attire and are not allowed to speak their minds out. Commonly in Africa, girls as young as 15 years of age are married off to most times more mature men. Just because of money, and generally in the whole world, women are merely seen as only capable of taking care of a home, cook, and bear children. Here at the School of Women and Gender Studies, we found girls who are pursuing internationally recognized certifications under the Cisco program. It is an information technology professional course mostly known to be done by men. We also found out that unlike their male counterparts, girls here pay lower fees to take the course, and this helps them to have an upper hand at enrolling and completing the course.
Girls are paying less fee than boys because they are trying to promote child education. Because when you go back to the past, girls had this mentality, after studying, still you go back to the kitchen. But now they are trying to give them the support. They are supporting them, giving them the positive attitude towards education, computing, and it's not even very hard for you to get a job.
The School of Women and Gender Studies under Makerere University does not only teach about gender-related issues, but also comes out to empower girls in the best way possible through offering life skills in information technology. In this modern world, where information is the new treasure, when you educate a girl, indeed you educate the nation. Bukenya Ephraim, reporting for Mark TV.
In the business news today, Delish Isabella gives us an insight of small-scale businesses in Makerere University.
Makerere University comprises of a number of small-scale retail businesses. These includes photocopying, fruit selling, newspaper selling, and bread selling, among others. Mubiru Abdul, a fruit seller at Makerere University, started his business in 2013, and it is helping him earn a living since he can use the money he gets to buy food and pay for his rent.
Some days I make money that I can pay my rent.
Okay.
I get money, I can take my kids to school.
Mubiru, however, faces a challenge of low demand, most especially when the semester is ending and students begin complaining that his fruits are too expensive.
When you come to these people who are eating, you count that when I get a plate, it will be 1,000. But when you eat to these students, some they say we have 500, you have 8, and you see it's difficult to you to cut off on the price. So from there you try for about 30 plates, end up having reserved 6 plates, putting them back. Remember, I rent, I have kids, that's and that. And I have to pay people who are where the place I'm working.
It is also very hard for him to get raw materials in time, which slows down his business. Besides these challenges, Mubiro is determined to start his own shop in future and expand his business to selling a variety of products rather than dealing in freights only. Benson Muzinda, a photocopier at Makerere University Faculty of Arts, states that the business helps him pay school fees for his siblings and he can afford to buy his own lunch due to the earning.
Business has many benefits. For example, we have managed to get money to feed on every day. We managed to pay fees for our children and our relatives. And also the business has helped us to start up other businesses and also pay rent. So we have
Muzinda adds that the business keeps him busy instead of being idle during his vacation. Muzinda, however, faces a challenge of sitting for so long, which is very tiresome, and some students come and photocopy their documents and do not pay for, claiming that they do not have change money. Muzinda plans to use the money he gets from the business for his upkeep when he joins campus. Small-scale business within Makerere is helping people earn a living, and it is a great benefit to students because they do not have to move to far places to get what they want. However, some of the retailers who deal in food products have poor hygiene, which threatens the health of students who consume their products. The question then is, what should be done to solve this problem? Should the retailers be stopped from selling? Should they be cautioned to improve on their personal hygiene? Isabella Dilish Ajok, reporting for Mark TV.
Unemployment is one of the challenges that have continued to affect most youths in Uganda today. A thing that has left many in a bondage of poverty. However, Robert Amanya odds himself by starting up a nursery bed business which he operates along Kubirwandegeya Road. Like we can always have a rotten tomato, Robert says he faces challenges while running his business.
One of the challenges is security. Someone can come from anywhere and take some work from here. And the other is the customers are not aware of these stuffs. So you find it difficult to tell him to understand. You take a lot of time, and the other side, the prices he will not understand the prices. So when you tell him the price, he will be scared at times and just leave. And the other thing is the work is tiresome, whereby you need to put a lot of money so that to make out a good work. Yes.
Although there are side challenges, Robert says he has benefited a lot from it.
I've been able to create myself a job. I've employed myself, and on the other side I've employed some other people. And the other thing, I've also done some other work besides this. Like I've been able to buy myself a plot to build a house.
Robert also advised the youths who are not employed not to be scared of starting up businesses.
The youth unemployed should not be scared of starting, because I started with 100,000 you can count the money in the business to be like something like 6 million. So everybody there outside should not be scared of starting.
Over 70% of the youths are unemployed, and those who have tried to start up income-generating activities have always faced a number of challenges like high taxes, price fluctuation, among others, hence making a few to sell through. What mechanisms should be put in place to eradicate unemployment among the youths in Uganda today, and what should be done? Reporting from Mark TV, I am Claire Sand.
Speaking of events that have previously invaded the Ugandan entertainment industry, one cannot leave out the exciting Bachiga Nation. Bachiga Nation is a celebration of African culture, but most importantly, it is concerned with people getting together and knowing each other. This year's episode, that was dubbed Rukundo Egumeho, got the attention of several revelers that turned up at Naguru Hilltop from noon till late. Traditional food, including all the Bachiga dishes and famous snacks like sausages, nyama choma, among others, was spotted in several spaces all over the place. Traditional drinks like the Nturire were also available. Bachiga Nation celebrates the Chiga culture and is meant especially for people living in urban settings to keep in touch with their traditions. Like any other cultural day, the dress code is usually modern African print and Bachiga Nation customized t-shirts. With more episodes like this coming up yearly, it is no doubt that the event is definitely here to stay. Alidechi Saidat.
Thank you so much for watching Mark TV Live at 1. I remain Fiona Barrow.
And I'm Saddam Mubale.
A very good afternoon to you.